What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this YouTube video. It's that time of year. It's the end of 2024 where we set our goals for the next year. And I wanted to just sit down, talk with you guys about my process and how I've set goals, because I went back to the goals that I set for 2024 and I've hit almost every single one. And I don't say that to brag. I say it because a couple of years ago, that was not the case. I would set goals and not hit any of them. And then the next year I'd set the same goals and proceed to not hit them again. So if that's you and you feel like you're in that cycle, this video might help you. So what I've changed in the way that I set my goals is I set more measurable goals rather than habits. What I used to do before was I was like, I'm gonna work out 3 times a week or 5 times a week or whatever, and I'm gonna hit this level of weight, or I'm gonna do, this thing, I'm gonna accomplish this thing. And because it was like just a daily habit, it didn't give me something to work towards and to actually measure my progress towards. I used to say things like, I'm gonna wake up earlier. Like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And it was like, why? Like, what's the point of waking up earlier? That's hard. What's the point of going to the gym 5 times a week? That's also hard. And I've spent a lot more time now going deep into the why. Why do I want to do this? How will my life change as a result of doing this? And why is it important to me? Once I really got deep on the whys and I started to ask myself, what are the actual metrics I can measure day in and day out as I approach this goal? Like, things started to change for me. So what I do now is I set my goals for the entire year. Then I break them down into the quarters. So quarter 1 being January, February, March, and then quarter 2, April, May, June, so on. Then I break those quarterly goals down into monthly goals. What am I doing each month? And I work on it like that. And I don't set all 4 quarters of goals. I don't set all 12 months of goals. I just do it one at a time. I set my big goal for the entire year, and then I set my first quarter goals and my January goals. And when I break it down like that, then I do January, I go through, I reflect at the end of the month, I see, okay, how did this go? Where do I need to change? Where do I need to improve? Where am I at in relation to where I wanted to be by the end of this month? Then I set my goals for February, run through the same process, then I set them for March. And then at the end of March, I look at my quarter 1 goals and I'm like, okay, how far am I on these goals? Where do I need to refine? Where do I need to change? Set my quarter 2 goals and then go from there. And the biggest piece that I learned was the act of revisiting those goals, because the mistake I would make in all the years prior where I would set goals and not accomplish them was I would just set them once and then I wouldn't look at that until the end of the year. Like, maybe sometimes if I'm lucky, I'd look at it in like June or July and be like, oh, it's halfway through the year. Where am I? Oh, haven't done it. That's depressing. But through the constant revisiting of those goals, you're able to refine. You get active feedback. You basically make the feedback loop faster. So you can test something, you get feedback. You're like, hey, how did this line up to where I want to be? Oh, it's not where I want to be. Here's what I need to fix. Let me test it again. Oh, this was closer. Cool. I'm going to start doing more of that. So anyways, closing the feedback loop, giving myself these giant targets. Like for the year, I have massive targets, but then breaking them down into bite-sized chunks where I'm like, okay, this month, this is all I need to do this month, right? There's only like 2 or 3 big movers and projects that I'm working on in January. And doing those things is gonna get me a fair chunk of the way to my yearly goal, but it's not gonna get me anywhere close to accomplishing my yearly goals, because that's what the rest of the year is for. So anyways, all that to say, if you do set goals this year, which I recommend doing, I think it's a great practice. And if you actually want to see those goals through, then you need a system to reflect continuously. So what I'm gonna do at the end or in the description of this video is I'm linking a template to my goal setting sheet. So you can just make a copy of it. It goes through a couple different things. It goes at really big scale, like massive transformative purpose. Like, what is the purpose of my life? What do I wanna do? And then from there goes down into like, what are my goals for the next 5 years? From there, what are my goals for this coming year? And then, like I mentioned before, quarters, months, and so on. So anyways, all that to say, if you are watching this video before the start of 2025, that is a great thing. because you can hopefully use this to start planning and prepping for 2025. In fact, with my clients in my program, we've started doing this stuff in November. So we've been working on our goals for a month and a half so that come January 1st, we already have so much momentum built up behind us. We can just hit the ground running January 1st. It's like, the whole like new year, new me, I'm gonna wait till the new year. Like, no, start now, start today, right? Like why would I delay 2 months of progress, November and December, when I could just start then and have 2 more months under my belt? So anyways, that's what we've been doing. I'm really excited for this year. Also on a side note, I guess like personal note, business note, whatever, I hired an implementation coach. He's going to be working with me, working with our clients within the program. So that's a big step for the business and for our growth. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what 2025 holds. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be challenging. I'm sure there's going to be challenges. I know that where we're stepping into as a company is learning and growth. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'll take you guys along the journey. Yeah, I have some travels coming up. Maybe I should take you guys on the trips. But yeah, if you have any, I guess, questions about business or life, drop them down in the comments. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.